y'all. Welcome back to Camp Shack Productions. Today we're going to talk a little bit about something that I don't think people think enough about, and that is filtering your water. Even when you are in a pristine, beautiful location like this, at least here in Utah, you need to make sure that you are filtering your water. Even in our watersheds, which are supposed to be free from anything getting into the water, there's always something. 90% of water in the United States carries some sort of bacteria or something that can get you sick, and something as simple as carrying one of these little things will be your lifesaver. We have the Sawyer Squeeze, which is by far my favorite filter. We have a LifeStraw, which I'm pretty stoked. These guys have made some improvements that are coming in handy. And then we have the old MSR. This thing is really old and super bomber, and by far the best filtration that you can get out of a water filter. You can take this pretty much anywhere in the world and be completely comfortable and safe knowing you're using it with this ceramic filter in here. And it's easy to field dress. The Sawyer Squeeze, however, is super lightweight, super easy to use, and can be put in so many different functions right on top of your water bottle, in line in between your bladder and the hose. I mean, there's a lot of different features. So let's dive into these. We'll talk a little bit about them. All right, y'all. So first thing we're gonna talk about is our MSR water filter. This thing comes in at 18.5 ounces. It is just over a pound. And it is by far the heaviest water filter that we have. It also requires that you bring a Nalgene or that you hold this bottle directly over the top of whatever you're going to use. This filter is exceptional as far as its use. It is super easy to use. It's super quick and clean. And it is very, very easy to adjust and clean out. This filter actually uses a ceramic piece, which sits right in the middle here. This is your ceramic filter that comes with it. So this can be taken out and field cleaned at any time. If you have ever camped in the Utah desert and you have tried to filter through that sick, gross, muddy water, this filter is a lifesaver. It can be pulled out and cleaned. The water in the desert has a lot of silt inside of it, so it actually clogs up your filters quite quickly. And this thing is the only one that I've been able to use so far that you can actually clean in the field. You can take the filter out itself, clean it, rinse it with clear water, clean water, not with what you get out of the stream, and put it back. And like I was saying, the one kind of downside to this bottle is the only thing that it will screw into is a Nalgene. So to use this bottle hands-free, you have to be able to put it in the Nalgene. And one of the other things that can be difficult about this is trying to get your water pump actually in the stream where you can get it. But once you get it in there, this is a really easy pump to use. And it is super fast to be able to fill up a bottle. This little chamber fills right here, and as you go, you can just pump water in. It's really nice, it's really easy, it's really clean. You can see that's fresh water coming out of the bottom of my pump right there. But with this, you essentially pump the water, it brings it into the chamber, pushes it through that filter, and then right in the center of the filter, there's a little hole that the water comes out. Again, if you're in fast moving water, your little tube can be kind of a pain. You also just have to make sure that it's not sitting on the bottom. But this is by far the most bomber water filter that I have ever used. Not the one I carry on a regular basis, but definitely if I know I'm going into some muddy, silty, gross water, I will take this filter with me all day, every day. And then to clear it out, you just shake it. You don't have to backwash or anything with this pump. You just have to clear the chamber, clear the tube, and then just shake out any excess water. Then you have nice, clean, easy-going water. So let's talk about some of the other filters we have here, huh? All right, y'all, so what we have next, and I'm gonna do both of these pretty much at the same time just because they're so similar. We have the Sawyer Squeeze, which is the filter that I just take this thing and throw it into my backpack It's with me most days. It's going to keep things super simple and easy. And these work great. Similar to some of that muddy desert water, this thing has performed pretty well. I have never used the LifeStraw, but LifeStraw has made a few improvements that I think really add some cool features. Both of these weigh exactly the same. They are 2.5 ounces, super duper light and super easy to use. Both of these will screw onto your standard smart water bottle. So you can just screw these things right on. And as long as you have the flow going the right direction, you can use this. You can just fill your bottle and squeeze right out of this and drink right out of this water filter. Super duper easy. And from what I understand, LifeStraw has also done the same thing by being able to remove this tab. You can take your LifeStraw and screw it right onto your water bottle as well, and be able to use it. So both of these I think are super awesome. One of the main differences is the Sawyer's life expectancy is much longer. The LifeStraw gives you about 300 filters. The Sawyer Squeeze is going to give you somewhere around 30,000 filters. So much more efficient, much better. So let's dive into this. One of the things that is different about this water bottle, or these, are that you have to have something that you can dip in the water, unless you just want to use the LifeStraw as a straw and get down and suck it right out of there. But I have found that I tend to use the bottle more. And one of the things that I do like a lot is the Sawyer Squeeze bags. There's a bunch of different companies that make these. You can get them much more solid, but I love the fact that this is so light and that it is so easy to use. All you have to do is take this bladder, fill it with the water, take your filter, screw it on, and it's easy. You actually just roll your bag, and you can filter your water. You can also drink straight from the filter, just like that. And then when you are done with this, you definitely want to make sure that you backflow your Sawyer Squeeze. Same thing with the LifeStraw. You can put it right on the bottle, use it as a giant straw. This thing could be pretty cool. I'm kind of excited to see how it works. Or you can do the old faithful, and you can take this one and just drink right out of the stream. You just want to make sure that you give your filters time to drain out after doing something like this, so that you're not, first of all, carrying that extra water weight, and second of all, you're not clogging all the little microfilters that are inside of your filter. So definitely want to give it a drain out before you take off. All right, I'll show you guys how we backflow the Sawyer. So one of the most important things that you can do is actually maintain your gear. So with your Sawyer, it's really important that you backflow this filter. The flow goes from the bottom to the white piece. If you forget, there's a giant arrow that tells you, but you really want to make sure that you're using fresh, clean water, because you're going to reverse the filter process and you're going to push out anything that may cause a problem in your filter. Can you see how it's coming back through? So what this is doing is it's just basically taking fresh water and pushing out any of the bacteria that might still be inside of your water pump. This is a super important thing, Before you go on any trip, you want to make sure that you've cleaned out your filters. If it's like that MSR and you can clean the body of the filter, you want to do it. I always like to run water through them and test them beforehand. I'll use fresh, clean water. I'll back filter it. And it's really, really important that with any of these filters, that if you are using them in cold conditions where it could freeze overnight, that you do not let your water filters freeze. Think about this, if you're in the desert in the springtime, it can get up to about 65, 70 degrees in the day, and then it can drop down into the 20s at night. If your water filter freezes, all of the little fibers inside will freeze and then break apart, and they're worthless. Do not let them freeze. Put them inside your sleeping bag, put them close to you, keep them warm overnight. If it's not gonna freeze, you don't have to worry about it. You just have to let them dry out. So always, always though, make sure you're filtering your water before you drink it. I would actually recommend you do it for your dog too, to be totally honest with you. Overall, I just think it's really important that you have something. My LifeStraw goes in my every carry kit. It's my little EDC for hiking that I carry with me. It's got some goo, it's got some medicine in case somebody gets hurt. It's got my LifeStraw, all that stuff goes in there. One other little bonus tip that I have for you is this is my backpacker's first aid kit. And inside of this, I actually always keep water purification tablets. This thing goes with me everywhere I go. So if worse came to worse, I always have a way to be able to purify my water because, you know, it's just something that I don't want to mess with. You know, I think about it, it's hard enough being in the outdoors a lot of the time, and having an upset stomach or getting Giardia or getting really sick, especially if you're deep in the backcountry, could be really dangerous. And carrying something that weighs 2.5 ounces can solve that. You can just get a LifeStraw. You can get a Sawyer Squeeze, which is a little more expensive. But I think, again, the thing to remember is as pristine and beautiful and clear as this water looks, it can still be super dangerous if you don't filter it. So always make sure you have your filter. Go out, you can pick these up. If you do buy a Sawyer Squeeze, they will donate a Sawyer Squeeze to someplace in Africa or somewhere where they need clean water right now. So I am a big fan of Sawyer Squeeze. Dan Becker talks about them all the time. I highly recommend going to check out his videos. But it's just something to have, and make sure that you are not caught out here without a way to filter your water. Y'all, this is the point where I'm gonna ask you to please stop the video for a second, go down and hit the subscribe and like button. I am this close to my 1,000 subscribers. Please help me get to that goal. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you will filter your water from now on. All right, my friends, I'll see you in the next video. Be well.